you're in Cricket Captain 2025, you might not be the most experienced player the game's ever seen, and you've got coaching to do. You've got 9 sessions, because I've paid for a little bit more. You've got 2 fielding sessions and 2 physio sessions. What do you do with them? Well, the first thing is you normally start with 8, but you can increase your budget at contract time. And then you've got certain things you can do to make players better. For instance, this is Will O'Donnell. Now, Will O'Donnell is a fine New Zealand first-class cricketer, averages 35, 4 centuries. His match form is 28%. It's getting better. Now, the standard things you can do for your playing 11 out of the coaching things that you've got, and that is to put them on extra batting practice or to put them on bowling practice. They're like your bog standard things. Get the guy in form. Great players in good form do really well, and that's what you're trying to manage. As a general rule, when I'm starting the game, if I haven't got high quality youth players in it, I will look to probably have 4 batters, my top 4 batters on batting practice, and then my 4 best bowlers who are playing in the game, they've got to be playing in the game, I would have them on bowling practice as well. Now, I haven't selected this squad, I'm just clicking people just to show you, but that's kind of where you end up. But then there's part of the game where you get physio. Now, for me, physio, I generally use on my bowlers that bowl the most load. There's different ways of looking at this, but for me, it's bowlers that bowl the most loading. You can see the fitness bar on the right-hand side will diminish over time with long spells and a whole load of workload. And I'll generally look for a batter that's been scoring heavily, the fitness is dropping, he's in form, I want to keep him rolling, and I'll look to bring him in there. You do get 2 fielding sessions as well. Now, again, as a rule for this, the players I'll probably put on there is probably my wicketkeeper, and I'd ascertain from the games that's being played who is standing at slip, and I'll be looking to put them, because when you get drop catches, a lot of the time it is your wicketkeeper or slip. Quite often mid-on, mid-off as well, so have a look around those. But essentially you just get 2 of them, and it does help. There's not a lot of stats you can go off to work out who's good and who's bad. There is a catches per match metric. Not quite sure exactly what that means other than the amount of catches they take per match, but it doesn't go into, hey, this guy's really good at catching or this guy's bad, but it's the only thing you've got to work off. The next point is around batting technique, and this is where I kind of like to hang my hat and go, I've got pretty good at developing young players. I can't tell you specifically what every single one means, like general technique. I'm not sure on the number in the background that does. But there's things I do for my players because I prioritise playing first-class cricket that I want to improve on. So 1 is I want them to be a good offside player. 2, I want them to be good at fast bowling. 3, I want them front foot technique. If they're batting in the middle order a little bit, I might swap the fast bowling out for spin bowling. And when I've done some analysis in the past on personnel and what they do, I have seen a lot that there's players that are exceptional spin players generally end up being very, very good on the game. And you can take that into real life as well. There's always a disparity between the top players at the top of the game. And if you break down their stats, looking at how they do against spin, quite often they average 80 or 90 against spin bowling. There's a huge gulf. But when it comes to facing seam, there's not as big a gulf. So that's kind of what I like to do. You can also try and turn a player into an opener of some description. 1 day just means, for me, white ball, but first class or white ball, you turn them into a middle order. You can work on accumulation, batting at 3 or 4, playing the old Joe Root role in 1 day international cricket, or boundary hitting and aggressiveness. So if you've got a player that's very defensive here, but you're like, man, he's a really good player, I could get him ready for T20 cricket, you can start taking those steps. I have quite a few times turned people into openers when you're looking to try and balance out your team. You've got these great players and it's like, well, the only place I could get him in is as an opener, so you can bring him into there. Bowling technique, again, there's a couple of things that I really emphasise here is I'm an aggression guy. I always go strike rate in first class cricket and 1 day cricket, and I hammer aggression. Young player comes through, have a look how old he is. He's kind of want to get them before they're like 23, 24 sort of age. But take Ashok, he's 23, Singh's 22. you can look at second team cricket at his bowling stats to go, what sort of player is he? Well, he averages 56 strike rate with the ball is quite high, but Oliver has got a 34 strike rate. He's very expensive, but he could be a handful. I'm going to put him on aggression. Once they're finished on aggression, then I'll try and move them into bowling, defensive bowling. And if they're not quite clicking in one-day cricket or T20 cricket, again, bang, I'm straight in to put him onto aggression in that format to take wickets. I believe that wickets is king, except T20 cricket, I've started to twist. I've started to turn into young players identify either high strike rate. For instance, strike rate here, Ben Lister 11 is exceptional. If you've got guys in second team cricket that you're finding through the youth search, 11.6, great player. If you get an economy rates down at 7.22, you're onto a great thing. Singh, 6.38 economy rate. That's something I'll be looking at going, I want to get you into the team. So your key takeouts really is you've got to start young. There's no point in doing technique-driven stuff on guys, in my opinion, that's like 24, 25. You got to get 24 might be okay, but you've got to get in there while they're young and make the big steps. Now, just because you see an enhancement come through, and when you do see it, it will tell you in the messages section, it doesn't mean they're automatically going to be 10%, 15, 20% better. It's an incremental change that turns them from good to great, or from okay to a good domestic player. And it's about identifying those players, building them, because essentially you're paying a lot less for them as well. So all the young kids that we've got in our team are on 21 grand, but then we've got players like Soli who's on 38,500, who's 32. So you can balance your books through the youth players and keep building them. And the other thing I would say is sometimes when you're doing technique, so it will say, oh, they've improved the technique, and you need to get a feel for this, because I've seen it work differently at different times. If I do aggressive bowling, it might tell you he's maxed out, then move on to the next thing. Sometimes with a batter, you might go, I'm doing batting technique, I'm doing front foot. It said, hey, it's improved his front foot, but not to the limit. At that stage, I normally switch it up and move on to the next thing, whichever one of these that I need to. For instance, if you've got a player that's already really strong on the front foot, and some players may come through in that opinion, but looking at this player, strong back foot offside, I'm taking that and I'm looking at going, cool, we're going to get you on the front dog, mate, and stop doing that so you stop nicking off. The other thing that I do, this doesn't mean you need to, is with the young players, I stick to technique. I just stick to it like glue until I feel I've reached the point where they're not getting any better. And then at that stage, I'll move them on to working on the batting practice to try and get this batting form moving up. You see, he's got coaching effective 70, match form 28. Yeah, let me know what works in the chat for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you soon.